Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Riot International Invitational. We're going to be doing a quarterfinal match now. It is going to be between Against All Authority and Dark Passage, which is an interesting team. I haven't heard too much about them. I assume they could be a Turkish stream again, because this is being hosted by Riot Turkey. But anyway, we are seeing some bans coming out in the immediate term. Zac, Twisted Fate, and Thresh being fairly standard, but we've got that Evelyn, we've got that Nidalee. Well, not so common bans there. I'm assuming that the Nidalee is going to be a targeted ban. In the right hands, she is lethal. It's AP mid, Bruiser top. Either of those can be played extremely, really dangerously. And Evelyn is quite similar, excepting that 99% of the players, apart from Spontex, play her in the mid lane. She's very, very scary in the right hands there, though. Can just kind of be that stealth, sudden, give you from 100% kind of character, or can serve as a more tanky, initiating sort of character. But banned out, so not going to be having to worry about that. It's not something I would expect to see normally, though, but we have got that Jace first pick. Not too surprised about that. That's just a fairly strong character. You can put him top, you can put him mid. If you were insane, you could put him jungle or AD carry, but not such a big deal on those particular roles. But top and mid, he's extremely powerful. Shock Blast, huge amounts of damage, and he also has some really great late game damage. Just getting that Mirror Mana, getting that Black Cleaver, getting that Last Whisper. If you've got those three items, you will wreck everyone extremely hard. That being said, his Shock Blast poke will fall off a little bit as the game goes on, but still, it's generally going to be brutal, and especially if you get an early lead, it can really chunk hard. Being said, we have got, Kha'Zix being picked by Dark Passage with that Nunu as well. Keeping that out of the hands of Amazing, who is quite lethal on it, I believe. Certainly, Nunu at the moment seems to be becoming more and more accepted as a top-tier jungler at the moment. Just an incredibly strong counter jungler, control jungler. In fact, he does pretty much everything, and he transitions fairly well. So, he ganks well. He, steals jungle camps pretty much with impunity. He roams around the map very quickly, thanks to Blood Boil. He's just really solid, has that utility for the late game as well, especially when you combine that with an AD carry like Tristana, has that peeling for her, and the Blood Boil, and everything else to consider in how that composition is working. But at the moment, it is definitely looking like Dark Passage are going with a fairly protect the carry orientated composition here. That Nami with defensive support keeps people away on the whole with that with the bubble, so you're either forced to run away from your target, which is usually the AD carry, or you're forced to hit the bubble, and that is a very long stun from a very early level. Still, having Tristana up against Ezreal, she's going to have a little bit of a dodgy early game. It's going to very much depend. It's a skill matchup, much like most AD carry matchups. Ezreal has some issues hitting through minions, for obvious reasons, because if he didn't, that would be stupid, aka Season 2 Ezreal with the Essence Flux maxing. But very hard to match straight up for Tristana, because that damage from Ezreal over a sustained period, because he can auto-attack Mystic Shot, and that is really brutal compared to most carries in the early game, at least, for sustained damage. Ironically, Ezreal then transitioned into being less sustained damage than most AD carries later on, but it adds up, basically, and if Ezreal can land enough Mystic Shots, then he will definitely turn the lane in his favor. Especially with that Sona as well, they've got a lot of poke there to be very cautious of. One of the effects people don't often consider in that bottom lane is that if you have a very pokey support who kind of zones you out from around them, you can have Sona, moving forward. Tristana's hiding behind the creep wave to avoid Mystic Shots. Sona moves up to him. He's got to back off from Sona to avoid taking the power chord and Q. But if she does that, that's opening up many more angles for Ezreal to then hit with that Mystic Shot, so it can actually end up being a double whammy. Sona transitions fairly well. AoE ultimate is just incredibly strong. Does look like we've got some decent, I hesitate to call it defensive AoE out of Dark Passage, but I feel like they have that capacity. They have the Nami, the Nunu, and they have the Kennen, all of whom have a little bit of trouble getting right into the middle to use their ultimates. But if they are defending a very, strong AD carry in that late game, that will suit them very well. That being said, they are up against a much earlier game composition with some very strong split pushing potential. They have that Jace, they have that Shen. Being said though, there is a kind of a lacking on the old magic damage front, but that may not prove to be too much of an issue. They do have some pretty good armor shred as well, but while we wait for the delay timer to tick down, we will just move into a quick commercial break. See you after the break.
There's something building in the air. I can feel it, I can feel it. It's pressing down on me and I can barely breathe. Oh, can you feel it? And I'm surrounded everywhere. I can feel it, I can feel it. It's creeping up on me, but what I just can't see. Oh, say you feel it. I'm falling into this unknown. Can you feel it? Can you feel it? There's nothing I can do but give in to the
Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Riot International Invitational. This is the quarterfinals. This is against All Authority, up A against oh boy, yeah, Dark Passage, that was it. My memory is so bad in Under Pressure. I knew it before, I swear. But anyway, we are getting underway with the first game. This is a best of 3, and we do have some aggressive play coming out here. Does look like Lego My Ego's heading in towards this banana brush here. Potentially, they have spotted out Amazingly though, so unlikely to go for that. Nami has, however, just faced off against Lego My Ego. He's going to put the ward down, take a shot glass to the face, and just kind of wander on out. Nothing too much going on right there. Being said, it is definitely the case that they are willing to take some risks there, because a strategy we've seen a lot lately from a lot of different teams is to just all pile up in that little corner brush, where we see that pretty much where Nami would have stood in order to get that ward down. So they obviously predicted that that wouldn't be the case from against All Authority, but it does look like everyone's just going to be backing on out. But what we do see here is that Tristana is in the top lane at the moment. Nami actually warding out that bottom, and the fact that she has done so will clue in, incorrectly in this case, will clue in Suchin Pose that you've got that Nami in that bottom lane. That being said, she will now probably rotate towards the top, unless they're doing something really fruity, like having Kennen go with the support, but you missed that, holy cough. I mean, yeah, but seeing the golems taken here with that Tristana, this is obviously a very planned out strategy here. We have got Nami with no fairy charm at all, only wards, and will now be helping out Theocles. Theocles? It sounds Greek. Theocles with that red buff he has to consume, so she won't need to do too much for him. He's just walked out and has actually smited it as well. So, looking to make something happen right now, I suspect, or just, I don't even know actually what the logic would be for that, but we do have Holy Thoth checking out Amazingly here, and I don't think either of them were quite ready to see each other there. And that ward, that pink ward, has not actually spotted out that banana brush green, so that will actually be a little bit costly there if they continue under the misapprehension that they have that vision. That being said, Lego My Ego in the mid lane to do a little bit of damage on that Naru, continuing to just make life difficult for him. It's going to be difficult for Karzik in this early game. He doesn't have the range, and at the moment he doesn't really have the all-in damage to just straight up take down Jace, and even if he does, he can just knock him back in the immediate term. But it's going to be hard for Lego My Ego to completely bully out Naru here. He's just going to be, I don't know, playing it careful, making sure he gets at least a decent amount of farm, and crucially staying in XP range, because once he's hit level 6, got that evolved spikes, it's going to make him a much scarier foe to deal with for Jace. He will have that poke, and he will have the ability to apply that passive at range. And that is scary to deal with. Naru now actually going to be just doing a little bit of damage down, and much the same from Lego My Ego. Nothing too much coming of this though. It just look like they're going to be continuing to play that game. Big creep wave building. And we are seeing Amazingly now heading towards this top lane, looking to maybe come in through the lane, and they do have good setup for a gank here. The ward has been bypassed as well. So, Glucose can land this taunt, and he has in fact done so. Flash, flag and drag. We've got the damage coming down on Nami. Nami is now very low, has been flashed upon, has got the damage from red buff as well. Glucose now chasing down Holy Phoenix. He's taking a lot of damage here. He's unlikely to take down Glucose in the process, and Glucose nicely duped there, does avoid the damage and style points, picks up the kill with the taunt damage. So we are in turn seeing Theocles going for this kind of revenge gank in the mid lane. He is coming in with that slow. He has that blood boil, has got it down on Leg of My Ego. The attacks come down. Wow, that damage from Kha'Zix is significant, but it's not going to be enough. Leg of My Ego going very, very low though. He is going to be okay, but forced to recall. And that does, in fact, in turn, remind me that I have no co-caster today because I was just doing the lead-in. But anyway, we do have Fabulous in this bottom lane, continuing, to farm out. He's doing pretty okay right now. The tower is on, well, some okay health, but it's not looking as good as that top tower is. Shen, obviously, having killed his opponent there, will be in a good situation, and Fabulous taking a little bit of damage there, taking a little bit of poke. Does seem like Tsuchi at the moment has the advantage against All Authority, pushing this tower faster. Theocles comes in from the side though. We are looking for the stun here. Fabulous has been ignited. He is going to have to back out of this. Does flash to do so, and now they have the Nunu in the middle, and there's no way he has the damage to bring down Tsuchi, and he is taking a lot of poke. And this is a large creep wave. We've got Amazing coming in from the side. Even if he doesn't go for a gank, even if he doesn't get a kill, what might well happen here is that they just straight up push down the tower, or, in fact, rotate towards this dragon area. Leg of My Ego has pushed back Kha'Zix, so that should be a pretty clean dragon take here. Tsuchi continuing to farm out this bottom lane. That's how uncontested they are going to be, and that's kind of a consequence of having your bot lane go to the top. It does leave Dragon much more exposed if something is to go right or wrong, depending on your perspective. Holy Phoenix gets taunted in the top lane, but it's just a matter of kind of poke getting exchanged. Nothing too much coming of it. So, builds at the moment. Well, kind of fairly standard at the moment. We have got a Doran's Blade on Kennen. That is actually fairly standard nowadays. You just tend to see him going for that auto attack damage. In this case especially, it's going to be useful, even if he's going AP, that is, you build Doran's Blade. It's going to be especially useful in this case on the grounds that he is going to be last sitting on the tower a lot. Having that extra AD can be very, very convenient in that respect. That being said, it's still not easy. Kennen doesn't have particularly great base AD as I recall, and it can be a little bit difficult. That being said, he does have Thundering Shuriken, which is a very nice sort of last-hitting ability, and obviously he is resourceless, so that costs him a little bit less than you would normally expect. Kha'Zix now in his mid lane, continuing to get to that farm point. He has now got the evolved spikes though, so Theocles may be looking for something to happen now. It does seem like Leg of My Ego smelt a rat there, had a feeling there might be a Nunu in that brush. It does seem like the ward was in turn spotted out. Naru could be looking for some kind of aggression here. If he can land the spikes with the passive, it actually goes in for the jump to clear the minions, and the Q to just do a little bit of damage. A nice little trick there he pulled, because essentially by killing the creeps with the jump, Leg of My Ego was suddenly in a position where he was isolated without him knowing that that was the case ahead of time. And Amazing is hanging around in this top lane. He is not yet level 6, but he's not far off it. Glucose goes for the taunt, but misses. That may spell the end of that gank attempt. Does in fact seem that that is the case. And we do see the Amazing ping coming down, looking like he wants to donate this blue. But still, we are continuing to see this fairly defensive kind of style of gameplay at the moment. Dark Passage are playing it quite carefully. We do see that blue pickup going pretty much without too much difficulty to Leg of My Ego. The pressure is coming down on this top tower now, and actually Glucose goes in for the taunt on Holy Thoth, but there was an angry Nunu from behind, and now they're putting down the damage, but doesn't seem like they can actually chew through it. Amazing from the side. Cataclysm goes down. The dunk gets the kill. And that means that now Dark Passage aren't in a very good position. They have that large aggressive bottom lane wave and that large aggressive bottom lane pair of people for that tower, whereas their top is very much committed. Holy Phoenix could actually get caught out there. Amazing out of mana though. No flag and drag coming in there. So Kha'Zix cannot afford to actually rotate bottom to try and defend this. And in fact, by staying out of sight, he has caused a little bit of doubt here for Pose and Tsuchi, and they will be stealing away this blue buff if they can. But Fabulous, I feel, may have actually gotten off a little bit lightly here. That tower could have taken a lot of damage if this had been the case. Nunu coming in from the side here, doesn't actually manage to get it in time. He's going to have to back out. He's not yet level 6, so is not able to pull any kind of walk into the middle and absolute zero strategy. So at the moment, there's a 3-kill gap, but it's a much more significant gold lead at the moment, and indeed in top lane, Holy Phoenix is in a very strange place, and I don't know how he got there. He is in fact now very much behind enemy lines. We've got Glucose coming around. He wants this kill, but there's no way he can stop Holy Phoenix executing unless Holy Phoenix tries to recall. In fact, it does look like Holy Phoenix has decided against that. Will be getting executed, so no gold going to his opponents, and he was out of range for XP as well, so not too big of a deal there. But yeah, it's still not ideal. It's time not spent farming for your AD carry, and as was mentioned, Dark Passage are very reliant on that AD carry in the late game because they have a very protect the carry orientated composition, and at the moment they're having a lot of difficulty holding onto their towers. Theocles in this top lane has been caught out, getting taunted down. Consume goes down, but he's going to have to put some distance between them now. He's got that Blood Bolt. Flash coming in from Amazing, but he's actually got no mana, and I think he may have misjudged this here. He does not have the Q mana even, let alone the flag, so Yeti gets away, and that is going to cost them quite a lot of time. They might have been able to push down the tower if they had just forced away the Yeti and then not gone for the kill chase. He said it's still not a huge deal. That's going to be causing you know, a little bit of relief for Dark Passage because they're still holding onto that tower. The goal difference now is getting on for 3,000, and that's significant. Crescendo in the bottom lane. Ultimate comes across. Fabulous in a lot of trouble, but he actually gets away. If he has Home Guard boots, though, he may wish to buy them right now to get back into the lane as soon as possible. Doesn't look like it's going to happen, though. We've got Nunu here to try and hold the stem the flow of damage on the tower. He can consume the minions. He can slow the attack speed of Tsuchi, which will, in turn, slow the damage on the tower. That being said, it just feels at the moment like Dark Passage are being pushed back and pushed back and pushed back, and there's really no front that they can actually compete upon at the moment. It's going to be difficult for them to do so. We are seeing Theocles very much aware that the tower's health is very precious at the moment. Nara in mid lane was in a little bit of trouble, but very much aware that the pressure on the tower is very important right now. He has to make sure it stays up. If they lose too many more towers, then the goal difference is just going to be too big, and they're going to start getting some serious snowballing against them. And that could be very, very difficult to contend with, especially with a team composition like this, with that Shen, with that Jace, with these great snowballing, split pushing champions. Amazingly, getting caught out of the Wraith camp has actually been slowed down. Absolute Zero goes down. They want this now. Bubble actually misses in turn. We've got some speed ups, we've got some damage, but Amazingly actually just baits out a couple of ultimates and lives to tell the tale, so he's not going to be too upset with that result. We'll just back and then heal up. Actually, no, he won't. He's going to stay in and farm Wraiths because he likes proving me wrong. That being said, we will be seeing, you know, this continued pressure all over the map, and Dark Passage are currently not falling behind too much. The skull difference is remaining roughly the same as it was before, and as time goes by, that goal difference in terms of significance will just decrease, because it proportionally, as the total gold increases, the difference, if it remains constant, will decrease. That being said, if they can find an opportunity, I dare say Against All Authority will force it, and right now Dragon has respawned, so do suspect they may be moving towards that area, and Dark Passage right now have to be very careful about firstly where they have their wards, and secondly who backs when. In top lane, Holy Phoenix taking a lot of damage from Shen, has to knock him back. Sunfire Cape doing quite a lot of work, and Kennen in this bottom lane continuing to duel Tsuchi with the Amazingly Impose coming around the side. Sonya and Jarvan very, very dangerous there to in turn have Nunu has been spotted out here. He could get caught out. Does just take a little bit of damage. Flag and drag over the wall. Red buff coming down. We've got the speed up. We've got the Cataclysm, in fact. That's going to be taking a lot of damage. And the ultimate from Tsuchi, locking him down in just the right place. That is very smoothly done. Against All Authority are probably going to be taking this dragon now. We do have some potential contesting coming in here. We do have a little bit of damage coming across, but doesn't look like anything's going to happen. This dragon is going to fall. So, in fact, we also have that top lane. Gluco's going to be taking a bit of damage here from Holy Phoenix, but is he going to be able to take him out? He's going to chase this down, but no, he is not. It's just a Shen that's a little bit too tanky for them to deal with, and that's going to be difficult for them. So again, Against All Authority went through a period where they kind of kept that goal difference the same for quite a while, but then suddenly they've taken another couple of objectives and they've increased it again. So this goal difference now building up to, what is that? That's a number. I'm bad at maths on stream. 5,000 gold, which is fairly significant. And now Tsuchi steals away that blue buff as well. Has gone for that Bloodthirster. I suspect he's holding on to a lot of gold in his pocket. Yeah, in fact, 2,000. Nami coming around the corner now has been found, but does look like they're not going to go for it. We do in turn have the tower being taken by Holy Phoenix, so that's going to be decreasing that gold difference again, knocking back that angry Shen, and in fact, just going to be walking on out. Was trying to bait for the Nunu, but not going to happen. We do have Kha'Zix in mid, taking a bit of damage from Lego My Ego, but not going to be able to get anywhere with that. Has not yet had a blue buff this game, and that's going to be costing him fairly dearly. In top lane, though, Holy Phoenix took a lot of damage there from Glucose. He's now having to play very, very carefully. Theocles also taking a lot of damage, and Glucose right now is getting into kind of raid boss territory. He's very, very tanky, and at the same time, with the Sunfire Cape at this early in the game, he's actually outputting a lot of AoE magic damage, which is kind of alarming to have to deal with someone who is that tanky. Naru now just trying to hold on to his tower against Lego My Ego. Not sure he's going to be able to do this. We do have the engage. Not going to happen, but Naru has been forced back, and that tower is surely going to fall on the next wave. Kennen returning to bot, Trist returning to top. There's no way Nunu can get there in time. That is just going to mean another tower going to Against All Authority. Yet again increasing that gold gap, just slowly edging away. Slowly pecking and gnawing and biting and grinding. It's just a very, very slow victory at this point. Fabulous. He's in this bottom lane and he's still having to cope with 2 people, but the thing is, Glucose is now really strong enough to cope with 2, and we actually see 3 people in this bottom lane now. Kha'Zix coming in as well. This could be a bit of a pile-up. Going in with the spikes, going in with the crescendo. In return though, we've got the jump in, we've got the damage, we've got the ultimate from everyone. Fabulous. Sorry, Theocles now in a lot of trouble as well, has been taunted under the tower, and that's another set of kills, and it's opened up a huge opportunity now for Against All Authority. This inhib tower is very, very vulnerable. Tristana coming in from the side, as is Nami, and there's a few less ultimates available to go for the dive, but if they had landed that taunt there, it would have been a kill, and then a probably inhib tower. Glucose now kind of in a bit of an awkward spot. Zuji jumping across the wall though. Holy Phoenix also getting jumped on just over the wall, and Against All Authority are looking so strong. Holy Thoth can be going low, and now the creep wave has arrived. This inhib tower is being forced to 8-0 for kills. Lego My Ego is in the mid lane. This is just disastrous right now for Dark Passage. It's just something they can't cope with. Tsuchi now going to be chased down a little bit, but you have to feel Dark Passage have got to do something now, something with this opportunity they have. But even if it's hard to even call it an opportunity, because in spite of the fact they did just do dives, in spite of the fact they've just used loads of ultimates, the team from Against All Authority they're very high on health. They're pretty much good to go for another fight. I mean, obviously it would be ideal from their perspective to go back and shot, but they are already stronger than Dark Passage are. So there isn't even really that opportunity, that timing to go for that team fight where the enemy has overcommitted and is low. And once they have gone back, Against All Authority are just going to be able to jump right back to that bot lane inhib. And I don't think the Dark Passage can do much against this. What they need right now, is someone to do the damage to shred through Jarvan and to shred through Shen. But every single lane has done poorly. Tristana 0-3-0, Nunu 0-3-0, Kennen 0-1, Nami 0-1, Kha'Zix 0-1. 179, I mean the closest is Kha'Zix, but his damage is bursty. He doesn't have the sustained damage to knock through those incredibly beefy bruisers, Shen. And in fact, we may see a pick here though. Poe's going to get out with his life, and that is, again, just not quite what Dark Passage needed. They need to get kills, and they need to delay this potential inhib push. Lego My Ego now coming in towards Trist, but not going to happen. We do see the Baron being cleared by Pose, but I think it would be a little bit foolhardy at this point for Against All Authority to go for that. They don't really need to force Baron. I mean, they're not having trouble forcing fights. They're tanky enough to dive inhib towers at this stage of the game. Naru taking a lot of damage. I think he just took a shock blast to the face, or the back of the head, depending. But yeah, it's just really, really looking bad for them right now. And we do in turn see Tsuchi putting a little bit of damage on that top tower. Not going to be able to go for this. We're actually seeing the aggression under the tower here. Crescendo comes down. Slicing Maelstrom just gets cut off before it was ever done. And now we've got the tidal wave coming across. Holy Phoenix running away. But if that shock blast... Oh, nearly. Doesn't get the kill. The bubble goes down. We've actually got the taunt now, but no follow-up. Could be a little bit of an overcommit here from Glucose, but he does go down. And in turn, Naru has got the wings. He may be looking to go for this. He has got the damage to take out Tsuchi if he can, but CC is a very scary thing, and if he goes for that, it's very likely he just get knocked up. Very likely he just get deleted, and we are now seeing Holy Phoenix with those Home Guard boots coming in again. That's a large gold commitment. Home Guard boots are a very expensive item for someone who has very low budget. That's the problem right now for Tristana. If you think about it, 475 as a proportion of 5,200. I mean, that's 8 or 9% of her entire gold, so that's a fairly significant commitment. It's obviously going to be very valuable now in the fact they're basically going to be fighting in their base, at least for the foreseeable future. But it, again, is going to delay the damage. It's going to delay her ability to cut through the bruises, and that, again, is what they crucially need. They crucially need Tristana with the Last Whisper to cut through the Bulwark and to cut through the Sunfire Cape on Shen. Shen actually going for that Triforce, I think, and Dark Passage are picking up that Dragon, so that's going to be a consolation prize for them. We'll get that little bit of gold difference decrease. That being said, they're getting on for 10,000 gold, and at this stage of the game, that is catastrophic. That is just an enormous gold difference, and we are now seeing Glucose doing the Shen thing, going for that split push, is now in that bottom lane. Sunfire Cape and Triforce, well, not Triforce complete, but components in hand. He is going to be moving towards that inhib, and I'm not sure Kha'Zix, I'm not sure Naru can stop him. We may be seeing, though, because there is a... He does, however, have very good wave clear. And we actually are now seeing a fight in top lane. Holy Phoenix getting just deleted almost instantly. And it's just another pick. And the ward control in the jungle of Dark Passage is just very much in the control of Against All Authority. They've got that Oracle, so why not? Just keep on clearing. We do see now Naru returning towards this top jungle. He may look to make something happen before Shen forces him to return home. Being said, he's going to be forced to return home now. And we are seeing Nami taking a lot of damage from Jace. She's forced to pop the Tidal Wave on one. The bubble whiffs, and now we have Kha'Zix trading off with Glucose, turning out this damage. He does actually appear to have the ability to take him down, though. At this rate, he may manage to do so. We'll have to chase him over the wall any second now. We have got Sona here, though. That Crescendo comes across. The taunt turnaround was any second. Actually, no, it's not. We've just got a shock blast, ending the fight a little bit sooner than I was expecting there, but... Fabulous continuing to try and hold this tower, but Tsuchi pushes it down. And again, nibbling, gnawing, biting and just kind of slowly grinding and grinding. They will get taken down unless they can make something happen here. Dark Passage are potentially looking for this kill on Tsuchi, but I don't think they realize it's a trap. In turn, we do have Amazing coming in from the side, slicing Maelstrom, and the ultimate from Shen. Fabulous now in a horrendous position. He has used his Zonyas, but there is no way he's going to be living. Amazing, he actually went for Holy Phoenix with a very nice kind of misdirection play there, but does look like that Nami will save him if that Shock Blast doesn't pick him up, which it does. So he's ended up very dead in turn. We do have Theocles trying to save the life of Holy Thoth. Does look like they will manage to get it. We do have some very holy names today from Dark Passage, which is an interesting name, by the way. Could be taken out of context. We do have Naru in this top lane now, trying to hold the tower. In fact, so the rest of them. We've got the taunt coming in. Theocles has been locked down. Tsuchi putting on the damage to him. Ignite has gone down, and the kill gets picked up. We're just seeing them back out. I just don't see how at this point they could possibly turn this around. Honestly, 14 for 1. 13, 14k gold difference. Inhib goes down. They'll rotate to bottom now probably and look for that, if not that mid lane with the creep wave for the tower. They're putting just that huge damage coming out of Jace is terrifying. What can they do? Dark Passage, they just don't have any tools to work the damage in they need, and they don't even have the CC to lock down valuable targets. They don't have the assassination either because there's just too much protection for that damage, and it's just an incredibly unfortunate situation for them. The laning phase just did not go the way they wanted. Amazing, he picks up Naru, just destroyed by that CC in the burst. You gotta wonder at this point what is going to be the strategy for game 2, because this game is over. We do have that surrender vote, and honestly, it's not too surprising given the flow of that game. It just felt like Dark Passage lost their grip on it very early, and Against All Authority kept on pushing, kept on struggling, and by the way, Shen is a feeder. But we will be going into the second game of this best of 3 any second now, so we'll just get everyone back in the lobby and we'll see if Dark Passage can pull this back.